There are companies building AI CRMs. There are companies that have CRMs whose value is just tanking right now as we speak. So what does that mean? Does it mean that CRM is now part of a graveyard and you can have an epitaph written?
They would not even do Google these days. They just go to one of the AI LLM platforms like ChatGPT or Claude and try to learn about what is the best solution to the problem. The days are gone where I go track the web pages, nobody's coming because we're still in the same old-fashioned way of trying to figure out who's coming to your website, which page they're visiting. None of the things are happening right now.
A company which promised intent data at an account level just came back and said, boss, that's not intent. It's like the highest priest of a religion whom you think is sacrosanct. It's 6 cents. They have it. Every company, enterprise company has 6 cents. And they do not, and they're unsure if they believe the data god anymore. They believe the intent god anymore, right? So it's hard.
Morning, Ramesh.
Hi, Sri. Good morning. Good morning,
morning.
viewers. And welcome to yet another episode of Outbound by Highperformr. And, we're talking about a lot of things that we do, a lot of things that we see from a AI perspective, the kind of disruption that's happening on a daily basis. So today we'll talk about yet another disruption. This topic has been, there's never end to this topic.
Okay.
And, when you don't have a topic to talk about, I think the best topic is to go back to the CRM because you want to make that damn CRM work.
Okay.
Right. So I'll start with a very provocative statement, if I may, is Sri, from what we're doing, on a daily basis, we have this pipeline review. And I haven't gone back to the CRM ever, right? The last 1 week is been about using Highperformr to figure out where the deals are.
Okay.
So, there are companies building AI CRMs. There are companies that have CRMs whose value is just tanking right now as we speak. So what does that mean? Does it mean that CRM is now part of a graveyard and you can have an epitaph written? Is it like a part of the digital cemetery already, where the full views of the so-called customer view is now just somewhere dead in that? Are the contacts not relevant anymore? Are deal stages not relevant anymore? What's the deal? Right, and we're seeing this happening since the last 6 months constantly, right? So, and the worst is, because we bought a CRM, we have 20 seats on them.
Okay.
We're pretending the CRM to be working, right? Like, hey, let's put on the CRM or it's not a deal, right? So, is the CRM a graveyard?
I think, Ramesh, it's it's a great week. I hope you had a good weekend. I think, And just to getting back to this, I think it's a very, very strong start, strong statement, right? I think, Ramesh, but you're not wrong. If you just go back, right, for years, I think we've been told to trust the CRM. Right? That's it's a system of record. Nobody questioned it. It's been the center of your whole GTM arc. For any
it's a
company,
nervous
I'm
system
sure
of
the last
the GTM.
25 years. I think it's been the center of your organization, but the reality, right? I think it has become bloated. It is now more like, if you look at from a backward point of view, it was built about 30 years back to replace database. Now it has gone back to be considered as a database. That's the whole the irony there. And I don't think anybody in the organization trusts. Meaning, you mentioned about it. The reason why you don't go to the CRM is that you go to your ops team, whoever it is. You basically don't trust the data in a CRM, hence you go to the...
And there's a reason, right?
Right.
I don't trust the data because on our group, before the day started, Sri, actually, don't blame me for it. You put it on the group to say, hey guys, have you updated the CRM? You want all the deals updated.
Correct, because I'm just doing what I've been told. I've built it myself. CRM is to be, managed, right? And it's a system of record, Ramesh. If you just wanted to give it, the credit for what it is, it is not a system of action. Today morning, when I wake up in the morning, I want to get up, know what needs to be done. I want to know where you need to get involved. I want to know where I can get involved to move the needle, right? So it is not a system of action,
Yeah.
right? And in the age of AI, this is like absolutely, a big gap. If you look at our dev product, everything is like driven by AI. Every piece of the puzzle, which we are solving is basically built or using AI. But GTM is still stuck with this so-called CRM. I mean, that is where the whole
very
thing
true.
is.
I think let's get to the first part of it. Problem is the data.
Correct.
Right, Sri? That's what we're getting. If you
Correct.
have to every day say, hey, update your CRM, which means the data that is there is obsolete.
So that's what I said today morning, right? The first thing I wake up in the morning, Monday morning, I message to the group, hey guys, can you just, when you get a chance, update your CRM?
Yeah, and I think that's the data problem that we're talking about. It still has to be manually entered by the sales reps. It's backward looking. It still talks about, hey, what did I do? Right? It's not about what is going to happen. It doesn't give us a flavor of that. Data is out of date. Imagine this, right? The rep is going to update the data of the conversation he or she had a week back, because you want that updated right now. The result is and by the afternoon when we are having the pipeline review meeting, what does the rep say? And we believe the rep, not the CRM anymore, because the rep says, I have updated the CRM. How accurate? We don't know. So can we trust the CRM or can we trust the rep? It becomes right. And therefore, based on that, you're making decisions based off the ghost of the past. Right? Okay. So it's data which is the ghosting over there. And I think that's the fundamental problem, Sri.
I think correct, Ramesh, but as an industry, we all, this is not the problem which has been there. That's the reason, CRM is to be considered as a system of record. Yeah. A lot of times you try to make it as a productivity tool and all of that. That's only, a marketing thing, we have been through that, right? But as an industry, a lot of people came in to solve this. They thought it's a data problem. They started scouting for the so-called, the data which will exhibit or which will expose, the customers who are going to buy today, the intent data, the so-called intent data, right? And thinking that's the magic bullet.
Correct.
Right? So we are all promised that the intent data will basically absolutely get you the people who are in the market today.
Then that's very true, because as a company, we are also telling our customers, hey, we will try and get you the intent data. But the customer is looking at intent to buy right now. And that's impossible to get, right?
I'm not sure, about a week or so, the company which was built for the intent data, 6Ms, they basically put on a report or something, which basically said, stop calling it as intent.
That's a huge bombshell. A company which promised intent data at an account level just came back and said, boss, that's not intent. It's like the highest priest of a religion whom you think is sacrosanct. It's 6 cents. They have it. Every enterprise company has 6 cents in it. And they do not, and they're unsure if they believe the data God anymore. They believe the intent God anymore, right? So it's hard. So what do they say there?
Ramesh, in fact, the matter of fact is this, right? So we basically been pictured, or we basically started assuming that the digital footprint of somebody, right? The page they visit, the blogs they're reading, a lot of other things, which is typically the digital footprint. We basically been asked to believe that is the intent to buy data, right? The intent to buy is not that anymore. I think maybe we're just coming to terms, because now with a lot of the AI data and a lot of other sources we have, we basically are really getting to the point to understand what is the intent data. Is there anything really intent data? For example, right? Correct. If there is a competitor of yours and their AEs and SGRs are engaging with your, the target audience, it means that they are in a market to buy, right? That's the clarity we're trying to drive in today. So that when you have that kind of a data available, the data about, the so-called people, information, about the digital footprint really doesn't mean anything about intent.
Absolutely.
So I cannot assume that a person in the company, we don't even know the title of the person or whatever it is actually visiting a particular web page or a blog of somebody else. Doesn't mean the entire company has the intent to buy your product, right?
It's a fair point.
That's a shift in the buyer's behavior. That's the whole problem, right?
Yeah, and that's very true, because customers today, or companies today, keep away from even buying this whole list of, hey, this is a list of buyers. Or you used to get emails that say, hey, these companies are looking to change their CRM or change their software, and that's a huge list. that you bought paying a ton of money.
Correct.
And the Salesforce report also busted that, right? They spoke about the tech stack with more than I think about 4,000 people out there.
Of course.
And that was like a wake up call in some sense, because the state of marketing right now said that, the myth that these lists exist with buyer data, intent data is not valid anymore. So you spoke about an important piece of there's a big shift in buyer behavior happening. Can we delve a little bit about that in terms of what do we see as buyer shift?
So Ramesh, the most important, I would say, like we've been hearing this, right? Hey, the buyers are very well educated. They know what they're buying. All of that is happening, right? So when all of this is happening, is that 80% of the deals, basically, the wins deals 80% of the time. Basically, it is basically happening outside the CRM. The conversations are not even captured, right? The conversation might happen on LinkedIn. The conversation might happen on the tool which you're using for sending emails, right? A lot of other places. It might happen on events. None of the data actually percolate and hit your CRM.
Very true. And I think we go back to the same point of saying why the CRM belongs to the graveyard right now. And I'm saying this categorically, very, very putting that point. This whole conversation that happens around the deal, right, that is only for introspection inside. It doesn't tell us anything about the deal of whether it's going to happen or not, or is it going to come through. It doesn't capture the essence of what's going on in the journey of the deal. It captures static data, right? Hey, I found the lead. That's it. It came through the website. That's it. I found this lead because I met this person in an event. What happens behind that? And that's just 10% of the data. And therefore, I think intent data that you capture in a CRM is flawed today.
Correct. And also, I mean, just to get to the point of what is changing from the buyer behavior point of view, right? I don't think they want to be sold in anymore, right? The customers or the prospect, they want to themselves able to learn on their own. And today, they would not even do Google these days. They just go to one of the AI LLM platforms like ChatGPT or Claude or Perplexity and try to learn about what is the best solution to the problem. Right? So it has gone up by 10x, right? The days are gone where I go track the web pages visited. Nobody's coming because we're still in the same old-fashioned way of trying to figure out who's coming to your website, which page they're visiting. None of the things are happening right now because they are learning things from a different, the complete shift in the paradigm.
Yeah.
So I think when was the last time you did a Google about something? I'm sure you are exploring multiple products for GTM stack, right? One of them could be for calling, or let's say whatever it is. If you look for an alternate, I don't think you go to Google about anything else right now. It's not right. You go to the Perplexity of the world or the Claude of the world. Go figure out in the particular ChatGPT. You tell them how do I improve this XYZ. You get a solution there. You don't want to be sold anymore.
Correct? Very true. Yeah, I think that's true. But let's stay true to the topic. We are saying CRM is a graveyard.
Okay,
is in the graveyard. We are saying intent data is all rubbish.
Correct.
Right, but we need something, right?
Correct.
What is that, right? If CRM is not part of our tech stack and that should be the sacrosanct anymore.
Correct.
If you're saying that intent data is not God anymore and you cannot go with it because it's just flaky all over. Correct. So what is replacing that, right? Do you still think that we need a system that talks about the deal in totality, right? While it seems very flaky, while it seems like, hey, it's an amazing concept, but how do you get to the reality of that?
So there is a shift in the paradigm. It's happening, or it's just happened as we speak, right? I think we're moving away from static database centric, model, right, to a more dynamic, very signal driven, I would say, model, right? And all of this is powered by, for example, instead of relying on the reps to come and manually update. If you remember, Ramesh, I think I just in the morning sent another update daily digest where we don't rely on the manual data entry from the sales reps, right? We basically observe that we have built an AI agent which will observe, which will synthesize, will act on the signals in real time, like emails being sent, the calls from the Nooks. We've been using Nooks, so you basically use the calls from the Nooks or any of the other tools which is being used by sales rep.
Okay.
Synthesize the data. A good example is use the Claude or use the OpenAI, you connect with tools like Highperformr, right? Orchestrate the whole signals, and then then you synthesize it, right? You connect your Gmail, connect your Outreach, whatever is the tool you've been using, right? Along with maybe CRM if required. But the most powerful thing is that you translate, has the ability to build these skills with LLM and infer the data from different touch points over a period of time. I think you would not have the system of record in place because you will go directly hit the tools which has been used by the salespeople or the GTM teams. For example, if they're using Gmail for sending emails, that is where the information is.
So if you see
Right.
what Sri is trying to say is there is no system of record anymore, right? The system of record could just be Sri's
Correct.
email, and that's just
Correct.
static data.
Correct.
But I think where we are trying to allude to is the point that he used two words again and again. If you notice, Sri, I've been noting that.
Okay.
One is multiple touch points, and
Okay.
therefore
Okay.
you're probably talking more about a workflow system. How do we capture all of these workflows
Correct.
through multiple sources, and that becomes the system, right? So workflows is an important piece, and the second one that you have been talking about is the skills.
Exactly.
Right? The agent skills that we need to probably
Correct.
train over a period of time to say,
Correct.
hey, this is a skill that listens to your Gmail. Now let's get that conversation from there. This is a skill that can look at call transcripts and decipher.
Correct.
People decipher the conversation and what's happening there. That's a different skill. And you train these agents, train their skills,
Correct.
hone their skills over a period of time through workflows, and then come to consensus on the deal, and then say, hey, so which means the rep today gets a
Correct.
lot more intelligence, and
Absolutely.
the place where it could house could be the CRM, literally the customer relationship manager.
Correct.
And not the
Correct.
system of record, and that becomes a way bigger piece. Is that something?
Correct. I mean, exactly, Ramesh. In fact, the AI becomes the workflow layer.
Okay.
What I mean by that is that I think from the phase where we use AI to give me summary and tips and like a few advices, right? Instead of the AI advising, it is going to act now. It started acting now, right? For example, what you saw today morning, maybe we'll actually flash the summary today on the part for everybody else to see it. You will start seeing AI act on behalf of the reps, right? Instead of having a dependency on the reps to go update this, CRM, so-called CRM. Imagine if you basically be able to infer that hey,
Yeah.
I got an email and the sentiment of the email was not positive, so hence I'm moving the deal from a particular stage to a negative stage of address.
And does it automatically?
It does it automatically, right? If you need to have a stage, right? But today we'll move away from even looking at the stage to actually the health of the deal per se, directly.
Oh, I love that.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a fundamental, I would say, change or threat to the old way of looking at it. In the old way, we've been looking at it as a funnel, as a pipeline. We start with a new, it goes from, engagement and all of that, right? But imagine if all of that is rewritten. There's an agent which keeps saying what needs to be done as the next best action. And in some cases, it might do some of them, right? And that is a system. That's an AI-driven, the workflow system will connect to the, actual systems which will actually does the work, like sending emails, making calls, and then orchestrate the whole pipeline activity for you, right? And for your team, right? That is where we are moving.
Interesting.
From. Which means that the CRM need not be an expensive tool, but it could be as simple as an Excel sheet or it could be a database.
Yeah, I was getting to there. So, exactly my point. So, we still need a placeholder for all of these to come in, right? Because we're now talking about Claude to be that system of workflow, right? We are now talking about these models, LLMs, to be the workflow management system for us. So, as much as CRM is a graveyard, as a deal movement or the deal velocity is concerned, or more about the deal is concerned, what does the CRM even do right now? You said the Excel sheet, but obviously that's not scalable from an enterprise point of view or anyone building a large. So, but the CRM is still relevant. I hate to be contradictory over here, but
I mean, I Ramesh, I don't know whether CRM is relevant or not. I mean, I think we'll know it in the next few weeks or few months or few quarters, right? I think it would be relevant in enterprise where there's so many moving parts stitched already together.
Yeah.
So there's a risk of not having one, and then people have to get used to it per se, right? But I would say much more smaller, fluid companies, right? I think they would be willing to experiment, where they would bring something like the Claude cohort in the center, or basically an agentic platform like Open Claude or something. Build a bunch of skills where they hit, for example, if you want to find a contacts, if you want to find your TAM, you would probably hit Highperformr directly and get it. If you want to, kind of understand the email, you might go to Gmail, or you might go to, Smart Leads of the world, or one of these email orchestration platforms. If you want to find out, the outreach, if you want to find out the calling, you'll connect all of these things together and be able to even present your status daily through email, through Slack. If that happens daily, why do you need to have to even go to log into CRM?
Oh, we don't. Yeah, absolutely.
So imagine if Slack becomes your interface. Imagine if WhatsApp becomes your interface. You basically ask that particular agent saying, hey, can you tell me the leads I have to focus today? As the, deals which are really happening right now, which is having momentum, strong momentum. If you get a list of 3, why do you need a CRM?
Oh, very true.
Right?
I think that's where we are getting to in a lot of times, right? So we are, go ahead, use a CRM. We are no one, but I think the CRM has been demoted to probably 3 or 4 levels below. And what takes precedence over there is are these workflow systems that exist. Are these agents of various skills that kind of bring in this data over a period of time.
Absolutely.
And help you make a decision on the deal, on what needs to be done. So from a CRM that always hosted data and was very backward looking, we're not talking about agents, the AI orchestration layer, which talks about, hey, what needs to be done for the deal, which means it's not about pulling it to saying, move this deal from here to closed one, or can you take it back? But it's actually trying to say, hey, do we need to do anything else for this deal?
Correct.
Do we need to, it probably gives the rep an idea of, hey, it's gone stale, probably should not be.
Correct.
The health of the deal is weaker. So, you want to send the prospect a nudge. You want to send them maybe a Loom video. So you see it helping the rep and not helping the manager understand where it is in the deal stage. Is that right?
Very true. I think, Ramesh, if you just take a step back, right? Let's say, what founders should do now? Folks like us, early stage. We're not saying go replace your CRM.
Why not?
You will eventually, but in the meantime, right? Try to bring in a layer of AI on top of it, which gives you a simple, yardstick about the health of your pipeline. Hey, how many new meetings happening? Are the meetings, when they've been scheduled, are they actually band qualified? Are they even qualified? Right? If you have a meeting which has actually been qualified, do you see the demo happen? Does it progress in the right direction? Do you have all the ICPs you need to be there? So these are the important, kind of health checks you do, right? I think when you do the pipeline review, Ramesh, I see you ask only one question. Hey, do you have all the contacts you need to connect? Do you have the person who has a budget? Do you think those things are asked today in the CRM? No, we have a team of people doing it for you.
Yeah.
Or somebody is putting their head down and figuring it out.
It's the agent.
So now that's a skill which you can have an agent do for you.
Yeah.
Connect with tools like, the tools which really do actual activity, and connect with the true, actual data which gives you the actual signal, right? Hit the Highperformr, hit one of the tools which actually tells you are they hiring for a particular role of interest. Then you infer. That's what is going to change. That is changing. So which means that I think any team should look at it differently now, should start looking at it. The old model of specialized roles, like we spoke about it multiple times, I just want to restate, the old model of having an SDR, AE, CSM, all is getting collapsed. Because some of the skills which used to be specialized are moving into agentic platforms, agentic layers, right? So you need to have GTM operators, in general, team members who are comfortable with data, but who can think strategically.
Okay.
Right?
She's spoken about, that's a change. It's...
But on the second portion, Ramesh, and who can orchestrate AI agents? Very, very important, right? To do their repetitive job. So they can basically focus on, closing deals. Relationship.
If everyone over there is trying to kind of understand and decipher from what Sri is saying, Sri, do you want to spill the beans and tell them that Highperformr is this workflow system? Just kidding.
It could be Highperformr. It could be Highperformr, could be the multiple tools today, or probably everybody who you call a CRM will do that probably in the future. I'm talking about a few weeks, few months, few quarters. I don't know what is the time, but for sure roles are getting squeezed, right? Everybody, if you go look at Twitter, Ramesh, you will see you will see everybody pushing their zone and trying to build an agent for themselves. Whether they do it for the company or do it for themselves, they are doing it as we speak.
Okay.
Right? What it means is that everybody will come to realize that, hey, some of the skills what we've been doing as a role is not required because I could get an agent, spin it off, and it takes 15-20 minutes right now.
So it's all about skills that you can train agents on. It's all about workflows that you build to get this data. It's about how do you have this orchestrated, and it should be about how do you take the deal forward or backward given absolutely intelligent systems in place, right? It's not about, hey, let's call this a CRM because there's probably a few $100 billion of market cap on these three letters.
Absolutely. I'll challenge Ramesh. I mean, I know I'm trying to get through this. When we're able to accept the fact that the way we used to build product has changed, right? Development has changed. I think we should also come to terms that the way we are selling things also is changing and has changed, right? Because of AI. So it's going to take time.
Mind you, we're not talking about agents going and calling people and selling.
No, absolutely not.
We're talking still about real people on their seats calling and talking, but the way it's being done, right? The reps they get more information, so they have to concentrate just on their activities rather than trying to update the CRM as an activity. I think that's the key takeaway from what we are talking about. We'll keep you posted. You could see a lot of these screenshots of how we are doing this on a daily basis here at Highperformr, and hopefully Sri launches the great new word soon.
Looking forward, guys. Have a good time.
Hope you guys had fun. We had fun talking about this, and so keep tuned in and let us know if you have any questions.
Sure.
See you on the other side. Cheers. Bye.